Please welcome Z Yang. Take a seat. So Z, you founded and are the CEO, correct, of Serenity Forge. Tell me a little bit just about the company. What do you guys do exactly?
Yeah, so we, like you said earlier, we are value-driven video game developers. What that really means is it kind of gets really artsy-fartsy, you know, as soon as you dive.
I was like, value-driven, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. So what happened is actually when I was younger, I had a pretty serious illness, which caused me to be hospitalized for a couple years. And during those years, I really thought about what can I do anymore at that point? So I played a lot of video games, and in the end, that actually kind of helped me. So I decided to start a company that is dedicated to creating video games that are intended to help other people, and that's, I guess, kind of wrap what our company does.
Yeah. So explain to me, how does a video game help someone else? I always view video games as kind of you interacting with the screen. How does that help other people?
Yeah, so there's a lot of aspects of video games that I think a lot of people, especially the general public, people kind of look from outside the box or outside of the box, looking at the gamers, demographic. That they don't realize is video games actually brings the world together in a lot of social aspects. They take your mind off of things in a lot of kind of intrinsic aspects as well in how you approach life. There's an interesting statistic out there that says that if you play Tetris within 24 hours of witnessing a traumatizing event, it decreases your chance of getting PTSD by something like 80% or something like that. Crazy, yeah. Cool, yeah. Candy Crush is proven to be able to help weight loss by up to 20%. They had two different groups of people comparing each other to see, one group plays Candy Crush, the other one doesn't, and they both try to lose weight. 20%, that's pretty tremendous.
So Candy Crush helps you lose weight. Wouldn't be the game I would think, but okay.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of scientific research on how video games could help people. And then there's a lot of the social aspects as well, where games like Gone Home, where essentially you play in the shoes of a girl who comes out to her parents when she is in high school. A game like that, there's no other way besides video games that you would ever be able to understand the kind of pain that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Besides video games, where you literally are walking around in this world in her shoes. So, a lot of scientific, a lot of social kind of aspects, and of course, education. We all played our educational games, so there's a lot. There's definitely a lot.
So these games are not your Halo, Minecraft. Do those have any social values to them as well?
I mean, if you really dig down into the video game kind of genre, there's quite a lot of content that you can really find. I'll give you an example of Halo. You brought up Halo a second ago. Back, I think 2012 or something like that, I can't quite remember, a few years ago, during Halo 3, after it was released, there was an event, a global event that was launched for the game, where for 24 hours, the aliens, and they're invading Earth, so everyone on Earth has to work together to try to defeat the aliens. Well, what happened with online games is that everyone with similar IPs would be matched among each other, with similar IPs so that they have lower lag time. It's kind of like an online game term. So basically what happened is that all these kids from Israel were matched with kids in Palestine. And then all these Israeli kids and Palestinian kids started playing Halo together, even though they don't share the same language or culture or anything really. Yeah. And it's, in real life, these people really dislike each other. But while they're playing Halo, these 24 hours, all these new friendships started getting formed. There was actually a marriage that ended up with two, I think it was an Israeli man and a Palestinian woman who met through that event and then eventually got married. And there's a world kind of record organization that dedicated this event as one of the most peaceful events between the cultures of Israel and Palestine in the history of mankind. And that's through a violent, stereotypically thought of as violent Halo, video game out there. So, there's a lot.
Still able to make those friendships and make those connections.
Exactly.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you end up founding this this company? Yeah,
so I mean, we're all Coloradans here, and Colorado is actually quite a small state for video games. When I was in high school, I went to school in Boulder, and I was, I kind of wanted to make video games. I think everyone kind of has that thought. It's like, I kind of want to try video games for a second. So I started looking around. I looked around, applied to pretty much every company out there in Colorado, and I think I heard back from 2 companies. One of them said, no, we don't need interns, just one line. And the other one said, dude, I'm just some kid in my mom's basement. What are you, I'm not gonna accept an intern. So I thought to myself, well, you know what, screw it, I'll just start my own company. So I got a couple of my high school friends, and who they still work with me today, many years later. And we started Serenity Forge, and kind of just kept on going from there, especially after my illness. Yeah.
Very cool. Tell me a little bit about this newest game, Lifeless Planet.
Yeah, so Lifeless Planet Serenity Forge recently launched our publishing branch, and so we are the publisher of Lifeless Planet. Lifeless Planet was inspired by kind of your 1960s, 1950s, kind of your really gimmicky sci-fi films, out there. So the story, the game features this astronaut that was shipped away from Earth after scientists discovered a new planet that's super far away. I think it was like 15 light years away. So by the time he gets there, basically he's never coming back. It's what it is. It's a one-way mission, and he knew that. He had a crew flying out there, and he was cryogenically kind of shipped out there. But what happened is that on the way there, his crew all died. So he was the only person who remained, and there was pretty much no surviving equipment once he got there. So he was pretty much alone on this planet, and he knows that he's not going to survive. So stuck in that kind of a story and that kind of a universe, he started exploring this planet, trying to figure out what happened here. This planet turned out to not be able to be habitable after all. However, he comes across pretty unique civilization there regardless. Very familiar civilizations. The USSR is actually, he noticed traces of them. And then becomes very ambiguous whether or not this planet existed to begin with. So I don't want to dive too much into the story.
Yeah, we want people to play the game. We don't want to go too into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, very cool.